Assisted Lab 13, Managing Access Controls in Linux. In this activity, you will manage access controls on a Linux server. First, you will configure local users and groups on the system. Next, you will create directories and files to represent resources that need to be controlled. Next, you will configure the ownership of these directories and files. Finally, you'll configure standard Linux permissions to manage for the users and groups to access the directories and files. So we're going to create users and groups. You need to create 2 test users and 2 groups on the Linux virtual machine. You'll configure passwords for the 2 users too. So we're going to sign into Kali. All right, that's where we're at. Kali, good. Okay, and then we have root PA $, W0RD. Open the terminal. And at user add. We're going to do user add instead of add user. User add. Okay. So user add. And you have to do this exactly the way it says. Capital U user 1 is going to be different from lowercase u user 1. 01. Okay, user add user 1. Now we're going to set a password for user 1. So to set a password for user 1, it is PASSWD. PASSWD user 01. Okay, so now we're setting the password for user 1. And it is capital P A $, W0RD. Notice that it didn't do anything there. No little dots or anything. Okay, but it is happening. If you make a mistake or you think a mistake, just press the backspace key several times, as many as you think is necessary, and try again. Okay, so P A $, W0RD. Okay, so password updated successfully. That's what we did. Okay. Repeat to create user 2 and the password. Okay, so with this now we can just go up, up, right? User add backspace 2. Oh, backspace 2. No, what's this password? User add user 2. Okay, user add user 2, enter. Now go up, password, user 2, user 2. Okay, new password. PAWRD. Okay, successful. And confirm that they exist. Score. And of course they are. Okay. Now run the following command to create a new group called admins. Okay, so group add. ADMINS. Group add admins. All right, and confirm that exists. Okay. You got to make sure that everything is spelled exactly the way it is. Create a second group called dev. So I can go up, backspace, backspace, DEVS. Okay. That one exists. Okay, so now we are going to add user 1 to the admins group. This is something that's a Linux thing. Right. In Windows, you would add the user 1 to the admins group by editing the admins group. But in Linux, no, you go into the user, you modify the user to put it in to the admins group. It's a little bit different. So here, right, we're going to modify the user mod, right, and it's dash a capital G. It's important to use dash lowercase a uppercase G, because without doing it exactly that way, and user that you're working with is in different groups too, it will delete that user from all the other groups that that user is in. And you'll learn more about that in Linux. So dash lowercase a uppercase G, very important. So we're into the admins group. We're going to add user 01. So user mod, add to the admins group user 1, and then enter. Okay. And it's a modification of the user object, hence the user mod. Okay, run the commands that verify the group. So ID user 1, so we're going to do an identify user 1, ID user 01, right? And here is user 1's user ID. Here is user 1's group ID. In Linux, each new user is assigned a user ID and a group ID. And this is the groups that, these are the groups that user 1 is a member of. 1000, which is its own group, and 1002, which is admins. Right? And now here, we're going to look at the contents of the group directory. The group directory or file folder or list is in the etc file folder or directory. Tail means we just want to look at the last 10 lines, just in case it's super long. We're looking at the last 10 lines, tail, because we just added it. Okay. So tail, just the tail end of the etc group. And there it is. Okay. There's user 1 and user 2. Then there's the two group admins and dev. Here it has, this is for the passwords. Okay. And in the admins group, here is its group ID and who is in the group. Now we're going to add user 2 to the devs group. All right, so here we can actually we can go back up and look, right, and user mod dash lowercase a uppercase G, very important, and when devs user 2, let's make sure. So it's all the same, right? User mod AG devs user 2. Enter. All right, and if we wanted to see what's user 2, ID, oh, my fingers on the right ones. And there we go. See, in devs. We got it. Create directories and files. Right, so here we're done with these. So just for me, because I like a nice clean command line interface, CLA, I just push clear, and there we go. So we're going to run the following commands to create 3 directories. Here's make directory, and we want to do /projects. Okay, make directory, projects. Now you could create all 3 directories by using the command make directory, right? But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it this way. mkdir projects. Whoops. Okay, make directory, projects. Now what I like to do, and this is me, because I like to make absolutely sure, I'm just going to go cd change directory projects See, that puts me in the projects directory. So now since I'm in the projects directory, I can just go ahead and do make directory IT projects because I'm in this one now. I'm in it. So I don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so now I can do mkdir, right? I don't even need a / IT projects because I'm in the directory. Make directory IT projects. And then again, mkdir space devprojects. Okay, dev projects. Confirm that they exist. All right, so another thing that I can do here to make sure they exist, I could do an ls, which means to list. And there they are. Dev projects, IT projects. I could go cd again. Takes me back. Doing just cd change directories with nothing, it just takes me back. And then I can do an ls. And that's right, because projects with the / not necessarily in the root. I don't want to make you guys any more confused than you probably already are. So, you know, cd projects. Yeah. Boom, projects. This is why you don't do anything in root, right? And then the present working directory. Okay. This is why you don't do anything in root, because when you make directories and files in root, the path gets all weird. So now that we're in projects, now if we go ls, again, we can see we got our dev projects and our IT projects, so it'll confirm that they're there. And this one works because we just looked. All right, so here again, too, you can do this one of two ways. Run the following commands to create two files. Now, if we were in root, we would have to type this whole thing out. But if we actually just change directories to be in the directory where it's supposed to be, where we want to save it, we can just create it. So we're in projects, right? We can cd change directories to IT projects. See how we're now in projects, IT projects, and now we want to create, as touch means to create a text file called servers.txt. And if we want to see what's in IT projects file folder directory, just do ls, and there it is, servers.txt. And now we're going to put one into dev projects called programming.txt. So we can do cd space dot dot, and it takes us back one. If I did cd nothing, it would take us all the way back to root. All right, so now we are there. And we could do cd dev projects. Right? And now we're in dev projects. And now we could do touch, which is to create a new file, programming.txt. Boom, there it is. And ls to make sure it's there. I know that this is not Linux, and for those of you who've not taken Linux, this might be a lot, but when you are learning, it's easier to practice. So cd to change directories. Some of these are really easy. Cd to change directories, ls to list the content of directories. Just a lot easier. Because in the labs, as you're going to see when I do the labs for Linux, you're going to see that I like to go in. Yeah. Why do all this typing here? I like to go in and do cd and ls and other commands just to make sure before I press the score button. Because sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And in Linux, there's more than one way to do things. Okay, so now we're going to configure ownership. By default, the creator of a resource owns the resource. Because you use the root user account, which you should never do, to create the directories and files in the previous activity, the root user controls the access. You need to permit users and groups to own the directories and files so they can configure permissions. So we're going to run the following commands. So we're going to go actually all the way back. Okay, where's my mouse? Come here, mouse. Okay, so we're going to go all the way back by doing CD. All right. So list long form the directories in projects. Right. So this time we have to put this in front because who knows where it is, really. Okay. So there they are. Okay, so we listed long the directory in projects. Come here. Okay. Or the directory projects. Okay, so here we got, okay, how do I explain this? All right, so here, this is a D, meaning this is a directory. Okay. The first three letters, read, write, execute, is for the owner. Then the next three, read and execute, are for the groups. And then the final three, 1, 2, 3, read and execute, no write privileges, is for others, everybody else. Okay. So user, read, write, execute the user, read, execute group, read, execute other, everybody else. Who is the user? Root is the user. What is the group? Root is the group. Okay. Whoever creates the object owns the object. Root owns, or root is the user. The user is because the letter that represents owner is U. U for user. The letter O represents other, not owner, is other. Okay, so read, write, execute is the user, the owner of it. Read, execute only is the group, and read, execute is everybody else in the world. So we are going to run the following commands to change ownership from root to the specified users and groups. All right, so here is change owner. Change owner. This means capital R is recursive for everything else, everything lower than that. So we're going to change user1 : admins projects IT projects. Okay, so here we go. It is change owner, capital R recursive means everything prior to it too. User 01 admins, right? And then projects IT projects. Okay, make sure I typed it all in correctly. Change owner -R, capital R, not lowercase r. User 1 admins projects IT projects, enter. And then the second one is change owner recursive user 02 devs projects dev projects. All right. Applies the ownership and group, setting the directory and everything in it. Okay. So here I'm going to enter that. Okay, so now we're going to run the following command to display the user and group associations for the project's IT projects. Okay, so list long directory projects IT projects. Okay, so now see how this has changed. Now see the user one. That's what they did here. User one is the owner or user, admins is the group. Here we changed this one for dev projects. The new user is here, the new group is devs. Let's do it again here. ls, right, list long directory projects. Oh, okay. Run the following command to display the user and group associations with the IT projects. Okay, so not directory. Okay. Okay, just the list. Long. List long. All right. Okay, so here, see this one when we just the ls list directories, here is ls long for the contents, right? So here we have user one is the user, admins is the group, here's the contents. There's only one thing, it's called servers.txt. And so this is a dash, meaning that's a file, no D because it's not a directory. Read, write only for the user, read only for admins, read only for others, everybody else in the world. That's what that means. Who is the owner and what group is associated with the project's IT projects directory? Okay, well, here we go. Projects IT projects directory. The user owner is user one and the group is admins. User one and the admins group. Optionally use ls to view the same information for the dev projects directory. So you do the same thing, right? ls list directory of projects, dev projects. See how that changed? According to this, see? We did this here. User 2 is the new user owner, and devs is the new group. And if we did this here, let's take this off. Programming.txt. Let's configure permissions. Run the following command to display the current permissions. Well, we just did this one. All right. On how to configure. All right, so they're wanting us to do it this way. Okay. Display the permissions. We've already done this. Let's go LSLD projects. There we go. In fact, in order to get this so it's not so confusing, there we go. All right, so that's what we did. It's a directory, read, write, execute, read, execute, read, execute. Configure the permissions according to the table below. You may select the set permissions section below if you need a reminder. So this is what we're doing. Change mod is the new command. User equals read, write, execute. It's already there, so that's it. So group, read, write, execute, and other, the whole world, just read and execute. For which for the projects, IT projects. Okay, so it's change mod, right? Okay, user permissions are going to be read, write, execute. Group is going to be read, write, execute. And other equals read and execute only. Changing what? What are we changing? We're changing the projects, IT projects folder. So now if we go up, right? Look what happened. You know, it's different. This didn't change because it's the same, read, write, execute. But we changed group to read, write, execute. So now it is. And read, execute only, it's what they had, so nothing changed there. Now with dev projects, change mod, we could type this whole thing out. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. But something else that you could do, see how we changed that? We're going to be typing all this in anyway. No spaces. Going to be typing that whole thing in, or we just do backspace and change this to dev projects. DEV projects. Alright. And then ls list dev projects. Boom. See how it changed? There it is. Confirm that they're set correctly. Yep, and they are. Score it. Alright, and score this one. Comprehensive questions. Which command below adds user A to group Z? Well, we know it's got to be these, right? So it's user mod, because we modify the user to put it into a group. We don't modify the group to put a user in it. And we know it's got to have this in here. So user mod dash lowercase a, capital G. Which group? Group C. Who are we doing? User A. Enter the command to create a file named file A in directory named test. Okay, so it's touch test file A. Okay. So touch is creating. Where are we putting it? We're putting file A in test. Enter the command to set admin as the user and IT as the group for a directory name and infrastructure and all of its contents. CHO changing owner. And we're doing user, set admin as the user, colon, and IT as the group for a directory named infrastructure. Score. Try again. Oh, I forgot the R. Dash R. All right. All of its contents. I forgot the R for the recursive. Everything underneath it. All right. Which of the following best describes the step you took in this activity? Created users and groups and set permissions on files and directories. That's what we did. Created users and passwords. Removed. No, we didn't do that. Created users and group. Added users to group. Created directories of file. Configured ownership. Configured permissions. Oh, wait, we did this. Configured file and directory ownership. We did this one. We created users and groups. We added users to groups. We created directories and files and configured ownership permissions. There we go. Let's grade it.